Hello everyone, and welcome to our Inspiring Mothers for Business interview. And today we have the pleasure of having the amazing Parul Begum with us. And Parul is part of our Inspiring Mothers in Business community, and she's volunteered to share her story. So we're so excited to have her today. Hi Parul. Hi Parul.
Hi everyone.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Fantastic.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my stories.
Oh, you're more than welcome. We're very, very excited to hear from you. So Parul, as I understand it, you are a mother and you run two businesses, one in real estate and also one in training and consultancy. So that must keep you very busy.
Yeah, definitely. Plus having two children of very young age, that keeps me really, really busy.
Great. So how long have you been in real estate?
Yeah, so real estate, I became a landlord by default because when my first son was born 11 years ago, we decided to buy a house for him so that he doesn't have to suffer the way I've suffered, not having anything, and I had to work from age of 14 as well as studying. So that was our ambition. 5 years ago, when I actually lost my job, I ended up having to introduce to somebody who then helped me to buy 3 properties. So last 5 years, really, I'm an active landlord, and I've grown my portfolio from having 1 property to now having 6 properties. And now I'm looking at going into full-time property business.
Okay, great. So just to go back, did you say that you bought a property for your son when he was 11?
When he was born, we bought a property 11 years ago.
Right. Okay, so as an
investor. So that was my plan.
Yeah, okay, great. So your children, so one is 11, and how old is the other one?
The other one is 5. He just started school last year.
Oh, right. Okay, great. And did you also say that you, at age 14, you went to work? Is that what you said?
Well, I was working, helping my dad. So I'm also a part-time carer for my mom, who is disabled. So I was a young carer from age of 14 with my dad. I lost my dad at university, sudden death, and that left me with 4 younger siblings. 3 of them were primary school. It was the biggest challenge for my life, but I've survived. I took care of my mom and my sibling. They all are flourishing now, all done their degrees, and they are in high-paid jobs. And some of them married, some of them getting married soon. So I'm really pleased. My mom doing well with her health, and I'm still is a carer, but she's got all the help she needed as well.
Yeah.
And I never gave up, really. I think my dad's death kind of made me more stronger in a sense of responsibility for my mom and for my siblings. And then I started to grow from there. Really, I never stopped. So last few years, I've been doing lots of training with different training companies to grow myself and grow my business.
Yeah, what an amazing story. You've certainly got a lot of experience, whether that be through motherhood, having a real estate business, also caring responsibilities from a very, very young age, and managing that as well as, growing and developing yourself at the same time, and then now having a training consultancy business. So what's the connection, or is there a connection between property and your training and consultancy business?
I suppose, property, as I said, I came by default originally. And then when I went back to work after having my second child, been working for same company for 16 years, and I walked through the door and I was handed a redundancy notice. I was devastated. So while I was like 4 months of being upset and depressed, I found something on a newspaper ad saying training for women. You want to grow properties. I went to the event for 2 hours and then end up doing 3 days training, and then that linked me to a mentorship, kind of short mentorship, and end up in properties.
Right.
So I always kind of love helping people. While last 2 years I've been training, I've done coaching training, coaching course. What I've realized is last 20 years I've been working with parents and children as a working life.
Yeah.
the coaching is really essential for children to grow. So I've decided last year to give up my job because I couldn't manage my properties and my training course. So I gave up my job and practiced 1 year of coaching with a charity to gain my coaching, coaching experience.
Yeah.
And what I've realized, that coaching skill I got, not just helping women and children, because women also, as part of my previous job, I work with families. So I've always been helping distressed families of domestic violence, drug issues, crime issues, justice, criminal justice system, people with CSEs, a whole range. What I've realized is my coaching skill is transferable.
Oh, sorry. What did you actually do in your previous role? Sounds very interesting. Your previous role that you left.
My previous role, so I started as a youth worker when I was in school,
right.
as a volunteer.
Okay.
And then when I was in college, I got a weekend paid job. So I was helping with forced marriage, so advocating against forced marriage. I was part of a campaign group, which then ended up in legislation done by Baroness Scotland. The forced marriage legislation came in. I was part of the campaign group in Tower Homeless. I was working with the council and the mosque, specifically communicating, campaigning behalf of Asian community, so the young girls doesn't end up in forced marriage. Same time, I was running girls group to educate them, to train them, so they focus on study, and so that their parents understand. And running, I run loads of training between parents and children, discussion group,
right,
so to mediate. Yeah. And I actually won an award for London award for running those groups as well, called Millennium. I think it was Leader for Millennium, Leader for Leadership, something like that. Can't remember. I was in college that time. Yeah. And so that kind of then led to me joining one of the national charity, working on again education project for BME women or girls migrating from Asia and Africa. So then I focus on forced marriage and FGM. So we were one of the first charity, about 15, 16 years ago, actually, I worked on FGM. Finally, last few years ago, the legislation came in. The legislation should have been put in place 15, 16 years ago when the program was, project was highlighted. We work with NHS Trust, gynecologists, to raise awareness among Somali community in Homeless about FGM. So, so that's how
you're probably
I've started
those skills in your coaching business now, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so your coaching business, what's that actually called?
So my coaching obviously is a long title. It's called Arzaf Coaching Consultancy and Training.
Right.
So within the coaching, I have two life coachings. One is teen coaching, so it's focused on life coaching, helping teenagers to choose a path, whatever they choose, to achieve. So last 1 year, I've worked with about 15 one-to-one teenagers, helping them to grow. And I have such a tremendous feedback. I was in tears when I got some of those good feedback, how it has changed their life. So that's from my heart. That's a fulfilling kind of feeling of, even, is for a charity. I didn't earn any money, but it was more for me as a fulfilling how I help. But now I'm going into kind of paid services because I've done my, charity work. Also with women empowerment, I help several women kind of, especially with domestic violence, is to see a life beyond and not feel as a victim, but to look for empowerment, look after themselves, take responsibility of their lives. So not stuck in the kind of like, oh, my husband beating me up, my husband or my in-laws has been bad. Yes, they're bad, but what can you do to improve your life? Move on and look after yourself, because nobody will look after yourself unless you look after yourself.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And obviously you've got a lot of experience, valuable experience, that I'm sure, you'll connect with so many people with the, the wealth of experience that you have. And so if somebody wanted to connect with you with regards to the services that you provide, how would they connect with you?
They can send me a Facebook message. I've also got 2 pages. So I've got a page called Arzaf Coaching and Consultancy. So they become friend in there. I can also give my details to Mother, your website as well.
Okay. So just say your title again slowly in terms of the Facebook page so that everyone can connect with you.
Sure. So I mean, I also talk quite fast.
I've noticed.
When I start talking about my passion, I can talk.
Right.
Yes. So my Facebook page called Arzaf, ARZAF,
Okay.
Arzaf Coaching, Consultancy and Training.
Right. Fantastic. That's good.
I can post the page also into Inspiring Mother Group as well.
Yeah.
So if people want to link up, they can link up. And I'll also add in my email address and telephone number there as well.
Yeah, that would be really helpful because I think you've got a great service that would be of benefit to lots of people, a wide range of people. So just finally, before we go, how do you balance all of these activities and being a mum at the same time? And the age range of your children are, it's quite a wide age range between 5 to 11, and they obviously will have different needs. So how do you manage that?
Well, it is a challenge. I would not say it's not a challenge. It is a challenge to ensure. I try to ensure my evening and weekends are with my children.
Right.
But lots of program, lots of events I go to are in weekends. So I mean, the help I get from my husband and my brother. So if me and my husband's going, my brother's help out. Otherwise, my husband's actually look after the children. I've also got a fantastic childminder. So if nobody available, my childminder actually help out. She's been there with me for last 11 years. And she's fantastic. So it's really important to have a network of people. I will say that you can, not always family is available, but if you have a network of people who can help you out when is needed. Yeah. But so I've also worked at the moment consultancy as well, part-time basis to learn. So I've joined this just to learn about sales and marketing and business growth. So I always try. Also, holiday time is a challenge for parents. So what I try to do is sometimes combine my business and holiday together. Okay. So if I'm viewing a property, if I'm going up north, I'll get my family with me, so they can view property with me, and then my husband look after the kids while I go into meeting. So I try to have maximum time with my kids as well as possible. If I'm on abroad, if I'm on like total holiday mode, I just switch off everything, put everything in auto, and then go on holiday. I've also got a good letting agent who actually manage some of my property outside of London because I haven't got time to manage properties outside of London. So I've got a really good connection, and they manage my properties. I don't have to think of my properties.
So you've got a wide range of resources there, and I think what's great is that you're being quite creative with the support that you have as well, and so not just limiting yourself to one source, and obviously looking at the extended family as well, which is fantastic, and that's something that people watching can take on board when they're looking for suggestions for childcare, and combining the business and your holidays might not be everyone's cup of tea, but if it works for you, then that's fantastic. That's really great. Thank you so much for sharing all of your insights, Parul. And sounds like you've got an absolutely fantastic business, and I'm sure that you'll do extremely well with your business. And hopefully, by putting your details up in our group, you'll get a lot more business from that as well. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Linda. Can I just share one good news with you today?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
I've just launched my training today on Eventbrite.
Oh, right.
And I'm gonna give you a couple of free tickets to the Inspiring Mothers group.
Oh, wow.
And if the free one goes, I'll put the link for Eventbrite as well if people want to buy. But it's very cheap ticket because it's my first training. I'm giving away really cheap, but I'll give a couple of free tickets as well. So anybody want a free ticket, they can message me.
Okay.
And if anybody want to buy it, they can buy it from the link.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Parul. But we don't do cheap tickets, do we? We do good value tickets.
No, but this is focusing for parents. I'm doing fast training, and it is for parents. So I don't want to put price up. I'm focusing on parents. Let's do it affordable. So just trying to cover the rent of the venue, really, nothing else. It's not my cost. It's just
what I'm saying to you is that by calling it a good value ticket sounds much more appealing than a cheap ticket.
Oh, sorry. Yes, language. Business. I need to think like put in a business hat.
Oh, that's wonderful. So thank you so much, Parul. And we look forward to your contribution in our group. And all the very best with your new business. And everyone, listen out and look out for these tickets. I'm certainly going to look at it myself. And if my diary is available, I'll be there to support you. So well done and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye.